Hello and welcome to Talking Good Gamers match preview of Fulham against West Ham United. International break is over and done with until 4 weeks' time, but we'll deal with that in the next one. But for now, club football is back. Gonzo, can you kick us off with your thoughts on our opponents, please?
Yeah, very impressed. I'm going to say something that's going to amaze you now, and that is that I have watched 2 of Fulham's 3 Premier League games this season, pretty much in their entirety as well. Very, very impressed, actually. I have to say, I thought they were unlucky, actually, really unlucky after the Man United game. And I was not surprised afterwards. I watched it. I thought, this is false, because that was at Old Trafford. And I looked at Man United. I thought, this is false. What's going on here? And I'm not surprised to see Man United look as crap as they do. And I know they got the draw with Ipswich, right? But it was also no surprise to see Fulham play so well against Leicester. And I really like what they're doing, actually. And I think Pereira's a decent player. And just continues to get better. And I think, off the back of, funny enough, Angel Gomez playing for England the other day and playing really well. And you're sort of looking at, man, these players Man United let go. And actually, they turn out to be pretty damn good players. So obviously, Man United's academy's doing well and has been doing well for some time. But with Smith-Rowe coming in there, I'm looking at the blend that they've got. I think they're pretty tasty. I've got to say, it was a lot. I was watching them thinking they have got pace, they got power, they got balance in everything. They got square pegs in square holes. They got a front line which could actually be quite terrifying, actually, and some really skillful players to load the bullets. So very, very impressed.
Yeah, very solid team, a very solid club, and a very impressive manager as well. I think Marco Silva is a fantastic manager in the Premier League, and the Everton spelled a blotch on his CV, but I'm willing to discard that when you look at, especially when you look at what he's achieved with Fulham and what I expect him to continue to achieve. And they got tested just over 12 months ago when the Saudis came in for Mitrovic and Marco Silva. Obviously, one left, but the other one stayed behind. And then Polina was wanted by West Ham. They managed to retain him for a further 12 months. Liverpool were supposedly sniffing in January, and they managed to fend off that interest. So I think they've done well. And I think it's a really good show of where you are as a football club when you've got a manager willing to turn down tens of millions of pounds to stay where he is. And then you've got someone like Polina, who's courted by big clubs of European football, saying, "Oh no, I'll give you another year at this club, and then I'll go." And he got a dream move for him, but he didn't go as soon as he could have. He was happy to just wait another 12 months. So I think that says a lot for them. I expect them to go on and have. Well, actually, what do you expect from Fulham this season?
I think anyone that finishes above them is going to be in with a shout at European football. I think they're going to be a top 10 team. Well, I'd say top 10 team. I don't mean they're going to finish 4th. I mean, they might be, 9th, 10th, or 11th. None of those would surprise me. None of them. I think they're good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think maybe not quite top 10, but I don't think they'll be far off it. I like what you said, actually. Anyone that finishes above them will be in with a shout of European football. And I think that's fair, actually. I find myself agreeing with that as soon as you said it, actually. And I think they're one of the clubs in a perfect position where they can try and prioritise one of the domestic cups. They've got a decent draw in the previous round, which is won. They've now got Preston in the next round of the Carabao Cup. You've got to take that. No disrespect to Preston, but when you're a Premier League team, you're wanting Championship, League One and League Two sides of the draw, please. Thank you very much. And I think because of where they are and how comfortable they should be this season, I don't see why they shouldn't be going for that, and why Fulham fans shouldn't be looking at their team thinking, do you know what? With a little bit of luck, we can maybe do something in these cup competitions. Their summer transfer window, a busy one. A few players leaving. A few players were let go, such as Bobby Reid, Tim Ream. Some free players' contracts expired, off they went. A couple of sales, one of them being Jay Sansfield to Birmingham, the other one being Polina. But quite a few high-profile signings, I would say. Were you impressed by the business?
I was, and I think the Burge deal was late. Have I got that right? That was quite late, that one.
Yeah.
I had already looked at their business and thought, oh, that looks good. I do want, anyways, and then the Burge was the cherry on the top. Sorry to finish my sentence. just another thought came to my head as I was saying it then. I do wonder if West Ham get over-quoted. I really do think that, because it looks like they got Smith-Rowe for something like 25 million with add-ons. Well, West Ham were in for Smith-Rowe, and we were quoted nothing anywhere near as low. And it seems to me like an ongoing theme that you keep hearing West Ham. I think he's a terrific player. I totally understand it. He's too good to be not playing for Arsenal. Now, there's a difference between that and saying I think he should be kicking Odegaard out of the team. That's not what I'm saying. But he's better than a bench player. And he really is. I think he'll have a really, really good season. And he looks liberated by it. And actually, everyone else looks liberated by it as well. You look at players like Iwobi and Adama Traore. They're now thinking, hold on, we got two juicy players behind us now who have got real comfort on the ball and they're really good. And I think it's just absolutely tremendous, really. And you look at, someone else we were quite a big money for over the years was as Kearney. It's still, I think, possibly still technically club captain, but realistically, he comes on a substitute. He represents them as substitute and whatnot. But I think he represents where they were. But what they are now is a really impressive team, and their business might even sound like the Harlem Globetrotters here. Their business, they'll get a scalp this season. Like Arsenal or Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool, whatever, they'll get a scalp this season, and it won't be a lucky one. They'll look good doing it. And let's not forget, they pulled our pants down and smacked our bum last season. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and for those unaware, the Fulham incomings look like such. As Gonzo mentioned, Smith-Rowe. They've obviously got Anderson from Crystal Palace. Berg came in from Burnley. They've got Reece Nelson from Arsenal as well. And then they've got Ryan Sessegnon, who was obviously a free transfer after leaving Spurs. And then a player who I do not know, Cuenca, I think how you pronounce your name, a left-footed centre-back from Villarreal. But they paid about $6 million for him, which is a decent enough fee. It's a solid enough fee. But bar the last one, they just feel like Fulham signings. They feel like Marco Silva players, don't they? Those not quite good enough for the Premier League cartel, more than good enough for the Premier League, and players that perhaps just need A, a home, and B, a cuddle. Just like a manager that says, I'm gonna get the best out of you. Like, I think you speak about Tom Kearney, you look at Andreas Pereira. As you said, that's the perfect example of what Marco Silva. Marco Silva can make players better, and he's done that. You look at Lando, wasn't quite doing it at Arsenal. He was like, "Oh, get rid of him. Fine, we're going to take him in." Number one keeper, now captain when Kearney's not on the pitch as well. And you just look at that team. There's just solid players in every position. And if you take the right back, they've got Tete in their sort of competition for Tete. Is Timothy Castagna, who a few seasons ago was fantastic at Leicester, was in the Belgium squad. He still might be in the Belgium squad, I don't know. But he's no mug. And this Fulham have got a bit of depth and a lot of quality in that team as well. I've been impressed by their business, actually. And it feels safe. Smith-Rowe, the only risk is he's injury prone. But in terms of quality, no questions. Anderson, they had him on loan. They fell in love with him. He was captain when he was on loan. They know exactly what they're getting with Anderson. Berg, you know exactly what you're getting with him. Nelson, again, a bit of a curveball, but it feels quite safe as well. I've been very impressed by what Fulham have done this window, and I think they'll be in for a good season. We've mentioned a couple of them already. Is there any players you admire in particular?
Yeah, I think I have mentioned them, and that's really I mean, they got Adama Traore there, who's obviously is yet to pick up his Ballon d'Or, Geo. So I mean, that may well happen this season. They've got.
I will confess, he's looked quite good.
He has. He does. He's always had the minerals, right? He really has. But can he put it together? Can a manager get the best out of him? He is. Oh, I think it might have been Martinez in that first game. He gave him a right old C2, if you pardon the expression, for classic footballing term. It's like the double pivot, isn't it? He gave him a right old C2, and then I loved it because it was a really good duel between them. And then Martinez came back and whacked him, and everyone's making a big fuss about it because he's basically this little geezer's knocked over the Hulk, right? That's what's happened. And But I thought he looked absolutely tremendous, and that's what I'm talking about. Loading the bullets, they seem to be able to release him now, and if you can get him running 1-on-1, it's going to be hardly anyone's going to be able to run quicker than him, and there's not going to be too many people that are stronger than the odd defense. Maybe the Arsenal defense might look and think, actually, we relish this because we got the pace and the strength and the nastiness as well. But he's got more than one really good quality about him, and it was really just his end product. But if you can get that, even if Traore this season could get 8 assists and 5 goals, that would be tremendous for Fulham. You know, you don't want Anthony doing that at Man United for 80. It sounds like I've got a bloody fixation with Man United. I haven't, but you know, you spend 80 million on the wing, you don't do that. But I'll tell you now, 5 goals, 8 assists from a winger like that, you'd have a very, very good input, particularly with all the other players in there as well. I need to stop talking about him, Geo, because I'm already worried about what I'm going to say at the end of the video.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the 2 left-sided defenders, not the one they've just signed from Villarreal. The other one's Robinson, I think, is fantastic. I think he's one of the best left-back. I say one of the best natural left-backs in the league, maybe, because you look at Man City, they don't have one. Gvardiol, Ake, they're not left-backs. Rico Lewis, not left-back. They don't have a left-back. Arsenal, they don't have one. Calafiori, Timber, Kiwior, Zinchenko, not left backs as far as I'm concerned. You know, Chelsea, Cucurella, he was fantastic at the Euros, but I'm still a bit suspicious by him. Ben Chilwell, Man United, well, they've got Luke Shaw, but he's never fit. You know, Liverpool with Robertson, but I do genuinely think Robinson is one of the better left backs in the Premier League, actually. And the guy next to him, Calvin Bassey, someone I liked a lot at Rangers, was annoyed we didn't go in for him. Made a bit of a bad move, maybe going to Ajax, but got out there pretty quick and has ended up at Fulham. And when he first started playing left centre back, I remained unconvinced. I still thought he'd be a better left back, but I do think he's really growing into that role. I think in terms of he's strong, he's fast, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet, doesn't mind dribbling out from the back with it as well. Sometimes a little bit much, but I do think he's turning out to be the player he looked like he could become when he was at Rangers as well. And I think him and Anderson, that means Dunton is a deal out of the team, but him and Anderson could form a really good partnership at the back there. But
yeah.
Bassey next to Robinson, fantastic pairing there. The only thing I will say about Fulham, just lacking goals, the goal scorer.
Yeah.
Muniz.
He's good though. He is good.
Yeah, the purple patch.
He's a handful. He's a handful. Sorry.
Yeah,
he's a handful. Yeah.
He had the purple patch last season. We kept scoring goals, 1 player every month, but they're still waiting for him to score. I was still waiting for him. I had him in my fantasy league team at the start of the season because he shoots. He's had the most shots inside the box this season from anybody without scoring. So he's happy to pull the trigger. But the backup is Raul Jimenez, who was fantastic. And then he had that nasty accident. And since then, it's just never quite been the same, which is understandable. So I think they're just lacking someone. I think they tried to sign Broja. They were in for Scott McTominay. I appreciate he's a midfielder, but he has goals. Scott McTominay has goals. So I think they tried to get somebody in, but couldn't. But Smith-Rowe, Nelson, this should be enough there. Yeah. Right, moving on to talk about West Ham. But before we do, just want to point in direction of this video's sponsors, Match Bingo. This is where, a bit like what Adama Traore does for Fulham fans, you can add a little bit of excitement, a little bit of spice, and a little bit of the unknown to your game as well, and also sometimes a little bit of frustration too. Match Bingo is combining bingo with football. You buy your card, but there's a promotion on for the Fulham West Ham game this weekend. You buy 3, you get 2 free, so you get 5 for the price of 3. You buy your card, you get 15 things you need to occur in the game. There's some really simple things like Fulham to take the kickoff, West Ham to take a throw in, West Ham to have a left-footed shot on target. That's always a good one to get if you're a West Ham fan with Bowen, Kudus and Paqueta in your team. But 15 things, it pays out first line, second line, as well as Full House Plus. There's a bonus pot too for those who get the Full House but weren't first to it. We've had loads and loads of winners here on Hammers Chat, and they keep on coming. To get involved, please do download the Match Bingo app using the link in the description below, but definitely use that link so they know that you've come from Hammers Chat. It is a gambling app, so please do gamble responsibly. 18 plus and over, and only available in the UK. So get downloaded, and it'll cost, it's £2 per card, so it'll be £6 in total. You'll get 5 cards for the full West Ham game. And if you're playing, good luck. Now moving on to West Ham team news. Areola should be fine. He also went off injured in our previous game against Manchester City. However, It was a small back injury, and he was well enough to go and meet up with the French squad, so he should be fine. The one player that you cannot have, though, is Niclas Fullkrug. He obviously went off injured during Germany training on Monday. We're still waiting for a definitive answer, while the club are hopeful that's nothing too serious. Best case scenario is he's going to be out for a few weeks, so you're not allowed him in today's video. You're not allowed him. You can select those involved in internationals. Obviously, Michael Antonio played earlier today on Wednesday morning, scored as well. Antonio scored for Jamaica today. So you pretty much got everybody except Fulkrug. Capiche?
I understand.
So talk me through your man with the gloves and your defence, please.
I'm going to give Areola my glove. I don't know, I'm giving him my gloves. He's probably got his own. He can wear his own gloves and he can go in goal. Aaron Obi-Wan-Bissaka is going to go at right back. Who else would you put there? Mind you, he's quite a fantastic left back as well, it seems. So, but not for today. I'm going to continue with Mavropanos, because I think he's not, I feel you've got to lose the shirt, and I don't think he's lost the shirt. I know the Man City thing and Haaland and the third goal, but I think he had enough credit in the bank before that. I do wonder if Todibo is going to be putting some pressure on him. I would imagine with Mavropanos being away with the national team. I think, you see little snippets, and with Todibo, and he looks sharp and he looks sort of fit, so I wonder he might put some pressure on him there, but I would go with Mavropanos still. Kilman clearly would play at left centre back, and Emerson, as long as he doesn't sign for Galatasaray before the Turkish transfer window closes in whatever 48 hours, then I'm being flippant, by the way. Then yes, that would be my back line.
I agree with you. I think there is a small temptation to say Todibo over Mavropanos, but it's purely because for the last 2 weeks, Lopetegui's had Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Kilman and Emerson on the training ground. So he's had what we suspect will be the back four at West Ham eventually. He's had them there. That's a long time on the training pitch with them. Mavropanos has done nothing wrong, like you said. I don't care about that mistake against Man City. I think he took a risk at the end of the game to try and it didn't work out, but if it worked out, we'd be praising him. It's small margins in football sometimes, so I'm going to disregard that. I think he's had a really good start to the season, a pleasant start. Hopefully he's feeling a bit confident, got a bit of momentum. Unaware of how he's performed for Greece whilst on international duty, but they did. I'm sure they beat Ireland. They were winning 1-0 against Ireland for quite some time, and they'd won the first game quite comfortably as well. So it was maybe some good performances from him under his belt while on international. But hey, at least one of our players has done all right. Say that. Souček scored as well. So there's quite a few of our players have done okay. So Mavropanos keeps his place for me, but I'd understand if Lopetegui changed it. The one thing I will say in regards to the defence, now, for those who are long-term subscribers, basically, if you understood the Adama Traore references and jokes 5 minutes ago, you've been subscribed to this channel long enough. So thank you very much. But for those, I just thought we were just commenting about Adama Traore. Historically, Gonzo's been a big fan of Traore. I have not. Gonzo's rated him. I have not. I've always thought big beast, fast and strong. Poor decision-making in the final third. Poor composure. Poor execution. I've just never really rated him. I think he's a rugby player playing football. However, he's done well this season. But you'd be naive to have watched him so far and just disregard everything. Emerson worries me a little bit at left back. And what I would say is that if Emerson is struggling come the hour mark or something, there is an option there to bring Soufal on for Emerson and move Wan-Bissaka over, who would be able to deal with.
That would be a good battle, wouldn't it?
He would be able to deal with the damage. But I don't want to set my team up to accommodate Fulham's strengths from the start. It's something we need to be aware of.
Yeah,
but
you're going to make this. This is how much you rate Adama Traore, and this is why I've been proven correct. You're going to alter the whole basis of your team just to counteract Adama Traore.
It's something we need to keep an eye on. Is what I will say.
In your fantasy league team, Geo, Adama Traore?
No, he's not, because he still can't cross the ball to save his life. I know he's got an assist already, but I need to see more evidence. However, I think he's at maybe the right club with the right manager. So we'll wait and see. But that same back five as you, please, Gonzo. Moving into midfield now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting because we've now got options.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Is it good? Great stuff. that being said, I'm still going to pick Rodriguez and Alvarez to sit in front of the back four. Well, I couldn't have made it any more clear. How much of a threat I think Fulham will be, and I am. It's not just that business. I'm traumatized by last season that they were swashbuckling against us, and I know it's a different manager and so on and so forth. And yeah, look, we're going to concede 5 against them on this occasion.
I do think we were sick as well, so that the squad being ill. I maybe I'm being naive, but I do believe that
I mean, a lot of people put a lot of goals past us last season.
Yeah, but on this, by the way, I'm not using that for every game, but this one in particular.
So one long old, the old 9-month. It's the long COVID, isn't it? Crikey. Anyway, yeah. So I'm
nearly put us all into a long coma.
Yeah, so they got some really good attacking players, and now they got even more. And so yeah, I'd play the double geezers in front of the back four.
I agree. We might have a match in 11 then, because I agree with you, because we've got Chelsea up next as well, and I think you've got to give these two an opportunity to form a partnership. And I think they looked good against Man City, but what we also seen against Man City is the fact that with the click of the fingers, we can drop Alvarez into the back three and change our formation around. And we looked good against Man City doing that as well. So I think if you've got Alvarez next to Solar, I'm unsure you can do that. Whereas with Rodriguez and the team next to him, you can just go like that, and Alvarez drops in, back three, Wan-Bissaka and Emerson push up. It allows you flexibility. Plus, I'm looking forward to this one. Alvarez obviously not been on international break this week too, so that helps him out a little bit, because usually that's a bit of an issue. But I would start with those two, and then Paqueta number 10.
Yeah, Soler is still a YouTube player for me, so I not seen him play, so it would be just ridiculous. I've got no grounds, got no evidence to put him in the team. But yeah, it'd be nice to see him off the bench, and so yeah, Paqueta number 10. Kudus on the right-hand side of midfield, Somerville on the left-hand side of midfield, and Jared Bowen as the central player, striker, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that. And Antonio, unfortunately for him, this is actually the period he could have done with having 2 weeks on the training ground with Lopetegui, and he would have started this weekend. He still might do. Lopetegui might, but I've got a feeling he will go with what we're wanting to see, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. 11 comes out on Saturday, and this 11 is what we see. The only one I'm unsure about is the centre. What one are you?
Well, the Antonio one is interesting, just because it was Jamaica away in Honduras. I think I had a little look, because I've got nothing better to do in my life. I had a little look yesterday. I don't think the flights were particularly favourable either. I'm not entirely sure he's flying straight from Honduras. So I guess I think he's got a stop-off flight, basically, as I think he might be flying to the Caribbean, then back to the UK. I think the game finished. The game started at 3 a.m. outside. So it's not just he's jet lagged. His whole body clock in terms of in playing games will be out as well. I think it might be enough by the time he lands. Absolutely cream crackered. Probably on Thursday. Probably can't ask someone like that to train Friday. I just find it hard to see him in the team. So that's. I'm not that uncertain about that. I'm not uncertain about any of it, but you were going to say the centre backs that you were. Yeah,
that's the only one I'm unsure about, because he's had 2 weeks with Todibo in the training ground with the other 3, and that's a massive advantage over. Mavropanos has just done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong, but we practically committed to spending 30 million on Todibo next summer. He has to make 5 appearances for us. He's already made 3 he's made. Possibly even 4. He didn't come on against Man City, did he? No. So he's made 3 appearances for us. So 2 more games and we're forking out. So I think there's a little bit of pressure to get him in the team eventually and get him up and running. I think this break has given him the opportunity to get him ready for the starting one. But I think the rest of the team, I think we might see that, actually. And Antonio will be a good option from the bench. Souček could be a good option from the bench. And this is a good opportunity for Somerville in particular, because he was always going to have to wait for a chance like this, Somerville. you can keep coming on and performing, but you're then asking the manager to drop one of Bowen, Kudus, or Paqueta, likely, in order to accommodate you. It's a big ask. It's a huge ask. So he was always going to have to wait for an injury or a suspension before he got his chance. He's got it now. And he's maybe got it for a couple of weeks at most, because if he doesn't perform too well, Antonio could be starting against Chelsea next week, and we revert back to what we had. Solar's now here. He'll be wanting in the team as well. Be a case of push Paqueta out, William, put me in there. So Somerville might get a chance, and he's maybe only going to get one, so he's going to have to grab this one. Do you think this is a good test? Remember, we spoke at the start of the season. I said to you, after international break, our season starts here. I think that's valid.
I think it's a really important test, actually. I think to beat Fulham would be more significant than maybe people might give it credit for, actually. Because every reason that I said at the start of it, I think it would show that they're not I know they've signed new players. They are not a transition team. They've got a well-established manager. They've got an established style of play. Whilst they brought new players in, they all know their roles. They're going to play in the roles that they've probably more or less played for in their previous clubs as well. They're going to be really well drilled. As you mentioned, a lot of these guys are cast-offs. Iwobi would be the perfect example, but Reece Nelson maybe is the new Iwobi, albeit without the big 40, 50 million pound transfer to Everton. He's an Arsenal cast-off. Smith-Rowe could barely get a start. A Traore, placed at Barcelona, never quite made it. There's a lot of them in there. There's a lot of these players in there. And because of that, I think he's probably been able to have a lot of them on the training ground as well, because, a lot of these guys haven't been picked for international football, maybe. So I think they're going to be really well drilled. I think they're going to be fast. I think they're going to be fit. I think they're going to be tactically good. I think they've got good control of football. Make no mistake about it. We're going to play a very, very well organised, and that's often used as an insult, by the way. We're about to play a well organised team that also has flair and ability. If we can beat these guys, then it would suggest that we're probably further along than I thought we would be. So I think it's a really good marker for us, actually.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, see what Lopetegui's come up with, because 4 games we've had so far this season, I've been unimpressed in 3 of them, and the one I was impressed in, we got beat. So I'm wanting to see improvement. I'm wanting to see something at the end of the 90 minutes. Hopefully we get 3 points, but also an encouraging performance and something we can come away going tactically. He got that spot on, because if you can win this game, you can get one up on the other guy in the dugout. And well done, because Silva is no mug. So this is a good test for Lopetegui. It's a good test for West Ham, and it's a good opportunity for some of our players as well. And there's real competition on the bench. Whoever, let's just say, goes with our team. We've already mentioned Antonio and Souček. Solar will be sat on there as well. We've got players on that bench who are good enough to be playing first-team football in the Premier League, and they won't be happy sitting on the bench either. Even Danny Ings will be saying, hang on a minute, Gaffer scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Against Dagenham and Redbridge in that friendly. Where's my opportunity? So we're going to have a lot of people wanting to get on the pitch as well. Sufal won't be happy if he's benched for Wan-Bissaka again. He wasn't happy last year when he was taking out the team for Ben Johnson. There's no reason he's going to suddenly accept playing second fiddle. So I think this is a brilliant test for us, actually, just to see where we are, how far away we are from playing the Lopetegui way. Whatever that entails, I don't know yet, but that's what I'm looking forward to discovering. So what is it, and are we ready for it? That's what I want to know, because at the minute, my answer would be no.
You just asked 2 questions.
The games I've said so
far.
So
what is it, and are we ready for it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is yet.
No, I don't know what it is.
We've been quite hoofball in some games, and then against Man City was nice football, but I need more. This game is a really good example to show us what he's all about. Are you confident?
No.
Optimistic?
Hopeful, maybe. I think if there's 3 results, well, yeah. If I had to put them in order, I'd probably say draw, Fulham win, West Ham win. I think West Ham win is the least likely of the 3 results, quite frankly. I just think it's very early, and I'm not saying that eventually. Well, I'd be sat very, very wrong with all the money we spent if in a year's time we're certainly not doing doing better than that. But we are in the inception. We are in something new, and I'm gonna stick with me October stuff as well, Geo. Mid-October, something like that, to really see us. Well, I guess we've got another international break. But you know what I mean? Really see what we can expect, and maybe get your 2 questions answered then. But I'm not. No, I'm not confident. I just don't have enough. But I'm not miserable either. I just don't have enough evidence. I haven't seen enough. I don't know. I feel pretty much in the dark. It would be wonderful. I'm telling you now, right? What would be wonderful is if we turned up after this break with that extra time on a training ground and felt the real benefit of it. I think the one thing that's making me not so sure about that is we got our business done early. We had the pre-season. We went to Austria. Is an extra couple of weeks. We're not all the players are there going to make that much difference. I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I agree with that. A lot of the key players were not there for Lopetegui, Bowen, Kudus, Paqueta. Whether you like him or not, and being part of the team, Antonio's shown so far that he is a key part of what Lopetegui intends to do. The good thing is the defence was there. The bad thing is the attack were absent. Paqueta picking up an assist for Brazil. He was somebody else that had a productive international break. And I agree with you. I think, we're not there yet, and we don't know yet. It doesn't mean you're not excited and you're looking forward to finding out. That's where I am. I'm really looking forward to this one. Fulham away, Chelsea at home, Brentford away, Ipswich at home. And yes, I know we've got the Liverpool Cup game in there, but those 4 league games, that's a good run of fixtures, that is, where you should be picking up quite a few points, actually, minimum 6 points. If you can get 7, 8, 9, fantastic. 12 is just ridiculous, and it's European football. Here we go. Get your passport out and dust it off. But I think if we can pick up 7 points in the next 4 games before the next international break, I think that's a good yield for us. Can I get any final words in score prediction? I think we've got the same score prediction, so I've wrote mine down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the same score prediction keeps popping up in my mind. I don't know why. It's 1-1, basically. It's literally in my mind's eye. It was doing like you've written out. It's been ever since we started doing this video. But it's I'm really interested to see how he's going to deal with. There's so many stories at West Ham at the moment, and we've rinsed them to death because it's been international break. But there's some intriguing ones, be it the central midfield, be it Soler coming in, be it Todibo. There's some really interesting stuff, but I am really fascinated. It's still, I can't quite take my mind off this Kudus situation and what he's going to do with that, because that's going to be key. I really do feel that that's going to be key in terms of having a major threat all game long. So yeah, watch this space really, and I do think largely if he can get Bowen and Kudus involved all game long, then we stand a real chance, and we could win it. And we win this, then it is. I really do. If we win this, I think it's game on. I really do. I'll be very, very excited indeed.
Yeah, I would get the same buzz as we got after beating Crystal Palace. I don't think we were fantastic in that game. I think it was quite a balanced game between the two sides. They hit the woodwork and they missed.
Yeah,
I think both teams had a similar amount of opportunities. We just took ours; they did not. But when that final whistle went, I was buzzing with that 3 points, actually. Not necessarily the performance, but just getting a win at what I think could be a tough place to go to this season. And very much would be the same this weekend. We could go to Fulham and get a win. That would be a fantastic result for us. Weirdly, today, I feel more confident for playing Chelsea at home than I do Fulham away. Now, that may change depending on the performance against Fulham. I don't know. I just think this is a good side. We could be a good team. Fulham are a good team. And I'm going to sit on the fence with this one and say 1-1, but it's not a confident prediction because I don't know what West Ham's going to turn up. I don't know what Lopetegui is going to do. You form predictions off the back of opinions, which are off the back of evidence. So without the evidence, it's hard to form an opinion. Without an opinion, it's hard to give a solid prediction. So I'm going to say 1-1, and I think that would be an all right result, actually. I wouldn't be disappointed with a draw away. As a certain former manager once said, respect the point. I think in this case I would. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like on the video by clicking the thumbs up. Subscribing to Hammers Chat. We'll be live at 1:55 on Saturday with our build-up show as we've discovered what Lopetegui is going to do in the absence of Niclas Fullkrug. But in the comments below, let us know the team you want to see, the team you think we could see, and how you're feeling ahead of the game as well. Myself and Gonzo, catch you in a bit.